Hey everyone, it's Neil Patel, and today I'm going to be teaching you about the different types of content that you can post on Instagram and how you can leverage them to go from 0 to 100,000 followers. This is the third video lesson in this 6-video lesson course on teaching how to go from 0 to 100,000 Instagram followers. So let's get started. There's a lot of different types of content that you can put on Instagram. Everything from stories to giveaways to tutorials to quotes, open-ended questions, even before and afters. A lot of plastic surgery, people love the before and afters. Behind the scenes, promotional posts, brand stories, interviews. You can even talk about jumping on a trend or user-generated content, or even other influencers using your content. Literally, the options are endless, and it's not going to stop here. As people come up with new types of content like carousels, you're going to see more of those as well. So let's dive into them. Instagram stories. Look, with these, you ideally want to post daily. If you don't post daily, you won't get as much engagement, you won't get as many followers. It could be just a video or a picture, and they only stay up for 24 hours, and that's why you want to post daily. But the big thing is when you're posting daily, here's the thing. It doesn't have to be professionally shot or professional video. People want to see the real you, your real company. They don't want to see something that's just like all superficial and fake and phony. That's what reality TV does well. It's supposed to be fully real, but Instagram stories is even better because people know it's fully real, or it should be. So some of the things with your stories is if you want a lot of engagement on them, it's best to keep a lot of your stories in the highlight sections, and you can categorize them. And when you're putting them in the highlight section, you can put specific images for each highlight, so that way it stands out, and then people are much more likely to click on them. Another type of content a lot of people do is giveaways. As you can see, there's a lot of posts on Instagram with giveaways. It increases engagement. It'll help you grow your follower numbers, your sign-up numbers to a list. It can produce amazing content that's user-generated, in which people are tagging you and they're sharing stories all over, but it works really well. And companies of all sizes, even individuals, are doing them, like Domino's, right? They're a pizza chain in the United States. They have some chains, I believe, overseas as well, but I at least know they're all over the United States. And you can do things to join some of these giveaways, like tag a friend, post the photo, create a caption, like to share. All these things help people get entered in the giveaways, and it's a really good way to really boost your engagement. One more thing to note is when you're doing a giveaway, you want to ask your followers to allow notifications. It'll help you grow faster and increase engagement, and it'll make sure that your giveaway does much better. Another strategy with giveaways that I love is sponsorships. You can get people to help sponsor your giveaways so it doesn't cost as much, and your followers will also follow them. Or what you can do is sponsor other people's giveaways when they have a huge audience, and it'll get their audience to start following you, which is super effective as well. I also like using tutorials. This is one of the biggest type of content pieces that you'll see on my Instagram profile, whether they're videos or slides. Slides are also known as carousels, where you keep sliding, next to get some facts. And I've done everywhere from short videos to long videos. They all work well as long as it's educational and really helps people out. Quotes are another form. A lot of times I'll tweet stuff, and then from Twitter, I'll take a screenshot and then I'll post it on Instagram. I found that to do well with quotes and tweets and stuff like that. When posting it on your Instagram, what you'll find is if it's motivational, if it's unique, not the same regurgitated quotes, you'll tend to do quite well. If it's a lot of regurgitated stuff, you're not going to do that well. Some recommendations for you: inspirational, funny, testimonials sometimes work. They don't work as well as the first two. And then, of course, you can also start a conversation using quotes, because when you post a quote, you also have a description within your post, and you can start a discussion about it and ask people to leave a comment. You'll also notice that I use a lot of videos, like I mentioned, but you can use videos to feature your product, like if it's a physical product. Or you can do what I do, and I'll use videos and I'll show how I'm using my own tool like Uber Suggest to get more traffic. And that also drives more usage and signups. You can also have like skits and humor or dancing. It could be a mix, or you can just do interviews like Gary Vee does in a lot of his videos. It could even be you speaking on stage. The possibilities are endless. The key with all of this, though, is to be as real as possible. The less high quality it is, like studio quality, you'll find that in most cases, the better off you are. Another form is captions. The opening sentence is a key if you're going to use captions. Users only see the first 125 characters in the Instagram feed, so you have to grab the user's attention right away. If you don't, then it's going to be lost. Here's one of my favorites as well, open-ended questions. As long as you're being super creative with the questions you're asking, you can get really high engagement. If you're not being really creative and unique and it's the same old stuff that everyone else is doing, you're not going to do well. And then with this content type, I didn't want to show anything gross here. My wife loves looking at the crazy plastic surgeries before and after, and she's showing like crazy graphic images. She's like, oh, look, check this out. And I'm like, honey, I don't want to end up seeing this. I don't have a strong stomach for blood. But in general, and before, after, a lot of people show them. A great example of this is Billie Jean is marketing. Billy talks about him working out and the transformation on his body and how he's losing weight. Billy's been doing an amazing job. Good job, Billy. I hope you hit your goals, and I'm confident you will as well. But people love the before and afters. And what you'll find is you can also do these in carousel format so people can keep swiping, or you can do them next to each other before and after and just split this screen in half. Either one works. I like using the carousels because as people keep swiping, it shows Instagram, their algorithm, that your users are engaging, and it keeps showing them more and more content, and it causes more virality. Promotional posts, you can feature brands or other people who are paying you, or it could be connected to events that you're going to. There's a lot of different types of promotional based content that you could do. A lot of it doesn't have to be sponsored. Like, it could be promotional posts for your own product, the company that you work at, right? If you're in marketing and you work at this company, you can evangelize your own brand. It doesn't have to be sponsored. I do that all the time. I promote my ad agency, Neil Patel Digital. I promote UberSys, my software. It all helps. It's all types of promotional content. And another type of content that I used to do way more of, I don't do as much anymore, was behind the scenes. People loved it, engaged with it, and we used to crop videos and talk about us doing bloopers and messing up and stuff that was just more personal. But people love this stuff, and it doesn't have to be videos. It could just be a photo of you and your team at work, or a sneak peek of a new product, or what you do during a downtime where you just taking pictures or having fun or goofing off. All that kind of stuff works. And as I mentioned, I also use carousel images with multiple images where I'm getting people to swipe right to get more information. And you can see at the bottom right corner, I have that little right arrow. I found that when you do that, it causes more engagement. And what you want to do with these carousel images, the multiple image posts, is you want to tell a story. If someone can follow through and it tells a story, and you can show that in a visual way or with data or information, and you create a persona with multiple images about yourself, or a story based on what you're trying to convey, it's all super effective. And the key is having the arrow telling them to swipe right. What you'll find is tons of engagement. These posts on my profile, they may not get the most amount of likes, but they tend to get the most amount of impressions. So you should check out using multiple image posts, or what I call carousels. Then, of course, there's brand story, right? What's unique about your brand? What's your unique selling proposition? How are people going to engage with it? What's the behind the scenes that'll make people connect with your brand? You can do that through Instagram Live, stories. It doesn't matter what it is. There's so many options. And one type of content that I constantly see on Instagram is lifestyle images. Everyone wants to showcase lifestyle. It can get a lot of followers. One of my favorite experience of lifestyle is Grant Cardone. And he'll showcase some of his nice cars. He has quite a few nice cars. And he'll even tell you, it's a waste of money. Don't buy the cars. He's like, I didn't buy these cars when I was younger. I don't know how old he is, but he seems, he must be older because he's married and he has kids, but he still looks young and he's in great shape. And funny enough, I know that because I follow him, and he'll post videos of him working out, traveling, speaking with his family. Some of my favorite moments are when he posts about his family, or other people that I know post images about their family. But going back to lifestyle, Grant does something awesome in which he has money, he shows that he has money, and he's like, look, I didn't get to where I am by buying all this crap. I got to where I am by investing myself. And whatever it may be, but that's a great use of lifestyle to get people to engage. Interviews, as I mentioned, works well too. You can do interviews with other people and go live. And if both people go live at the same time in an interview format, kind of like how people do podcast interviews, but you're doing Instagram live interviews, what you'll find is your followers will follow the other person and the other person's followers will start following you. I've done this quite a bit. At one point, I used to do one of these every single week, and every time I did it on Thursdays, my follower count would go up. The key with this is finding other guests who have similar amount of followers or more followers than you and in similar niches. You just don't want random people. You can always republish your content as well when you're going live on Instagram. You probably already have content on your blog, on YouTube, on Facebook. You don't have to create new content. You can republish, whether it's products or having call to actions at the end or other stories that you place on other social profiles or networks. Just use that stuff, repurpose, cut your videos down, and pop that stuff on Instagram. And if you want to go live by yourself, you can always do it, Ask Me Anything, and people can ask you questions. They can be in the comments. It can be done through live. You can even do stories and have people ask questions there or type something in. The possibilities are endless. This will boost engagement. And the key, when I keep talking about engagement, because I mentioned this a few times, certain contents create more engagement than others, even if they don't create more likes. When you create a lot of engagement, Instagram knows, their algorithm knows, hey, people are engaging, they must like content for this person. So when they post new content, let me show majority of their followers that content. Because if you have low engagement, what you'll find is as you post content, your followers will barely see it. Just because you post content, it doesn't mean your followers will see it. Instagram is very selective, hence you need to optimize your engagement. You can also jump on a trend. If you see a lot of people are doing things like years and years ago, there was that ice bucket challenge, the ALS ice bucket challenge, I believe is what it was called. Everyone started jumping on it. So if you see a trend, follow it, leverage it, keep pushing harder and harder, and it'll help you grow. Because it's like if everyone's into something right now, chances are you want to leverage it, from whether it's from stories to shoppable influencer posts to just being authentic, using hashtags works, Instagram story ads, having your ads look like all the content that would be on your landing page, and you can do that through stories. That's been super effective right now. So you want to keep trying and testing new things out, and it doesn't hurt. I also like using user-generated content, especially for e-commerce profiles. If you're selling something, other people are rocking your product, wearing it, using it like a face mask, you got to post it. It shows authenticity, shows that people like it, shows people are buying it, and normal stuff, right? You want to be realistic. It's like, do you remember those Victoria's Secret fashion shows? They stopped doing them. I don't know if they'll bring them back, but I'm happy that they stopped doing them. And maybe I'm biased, but it's unrealistic. Like, I don't want my daughter growing up being like, that's what you need to look like. It's like, no, eat, be happy, be normal, right? Like, I like that not everyone is pencil thin in this world, and they should just accept themselves for who they are. So when you're using the user-generated content, be real about it. Don't just show something that's not real, like, oh, check out this person. They're the rare person that everyone can't relate to. One of my favorite images that I forgot which skincare company used it. There's this model that has spots, discoloration of color on her face. And I have no issues with it. And I know people who have gone through that are family friends. And I like how they use that person as their model, because that's real. No one's going to be perfect, like a Photoshop or like that Victoria's Secret model that you see on TV that's not going to potentially eat for that whole day and work out for 5 hours a day so they can end up looking like that. Now, on top of that, you got all these content types. You also need to know some best practices. Look, if you're going to post on IG, you got to make sure your images fit correctly. You don't want them all looking choppy or having black borders. Make it fit correctly. You also want to see what times your audience is engaging with you, and you want to post during those times. If you notice that you post at night and no one engages with that content, then maybe you shouldn't post at night as much. If you notice that you post early in the mornings and it does better, then post during early mornings. And you also want to think about your frequency. If you post too often, does it cause your engagement to go down on all your content? When you include CTAs, are you increasing your revenue? When you have a specific theme, are you doing better? Research, and test. This will allow you to optimize what you're doing. And some general things, as I mentioned, appropriate size images. You want to be consistent. You want to post during optimal time. You want to post content that your audience wants to see, not just stuff that you want to see. You want to include call to actions. You want to tell stories with visual content. You want to maintain your brand voice and be consistent. You want to utilize IG stories to engage your audience. And you want to research appropriate hashtags and use them wisely. Without the hashtags, you won't get as much traffic. Some other best practices: focus on user-generated content. Have visual feed, like you want your feed to be very visual, not just text-based stuff. You want to encourage comments, maybe ask people questions or have them tag a friend. You want to try using GIFs. People love GIFs because it's animated. My wife once did an image of my baby, pulling up her dress just a little bit. She's wearing a diaper, so nothing crazy, and then putting it down, and it was like, I forgot what it is called, but it continued, went on repeat. I forgot what the term is. I should know it because I've used it so many times. But that did really well. It's actually one of my most active pieces of content. Subtitles, closed captionings helps a lot of people because not everyone has voice turned on. It's not turned on by default. You, of course, want to use analytics to measure your performance and then optimize. There's a lot of tools out there like Social Blade, which I mentioned in the last lesson, that'll help you optimize and track everything that you're doing so that way you can grow your following as well. If you take all these best practices that I'm breaking down and you follow everything that I'm teaching you within Instagram, hopefully you can be an example just like Kayla here, right? She was born in 1991. She's one of the 30 most influential people on Instagram. And as of 2018, her wealth was observed as $63 million. She's a creator of a series of fitness ebooks called Bikini Body Guides and meal planning workout app, Sweat with Kayla. Look, you can be another example like Kayla. There's so much potential out there. You may not get 12 million followers, but hey, even if you're a fraction of what she's done, even if you get to $1 million, that's huge. So just keep all of that in mind. And a lot of times you'll be able to do stuff that could bring more money or followers, but I would recommend if it goes against your brand, don't do it. In 2015, Apple featured another company in an advertisement for an Apple Watch demonstrating how heart rate monitor feature of their product works. And they credited it, and they even said that that ad from Apple had really helped them blow up, but they're super careful on photo shoots and what they accept and what they don't. And that's really important because if something doesn't stick with your brand, you don't want to be that sellout. People will notice it on social media and you'll start losing followers as well. So you need to be true with your brand. So next week, I'm going to go over how to use automation to get more reach and engagement, how to get more followers, how to make more sales with Instagram, and I'm going to go over case studies as well. But before I let you go, start mixing and matching the different content types that I discussed today and test what works best for you. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about it. If you have any questions, let me know. We're here to help you succeed and get you to your first 100,000 followers. If you also need any personal help, you can also check out my ad agency, Neil Patel Digital. Thank you.